Welcome back to the Inglit Hit. Ozymandias' passions are stamped on these lifeless blocks of stone. It is telling that his wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command are what survive even amid this colossal wreck. At this halfway point in the poem, the central irony that Ozymandias craves an eternal legacy of his works, and yet this work, the statue, is crumbling before our very eyes, is set up properly. The dictionary definition of satire is the use of humour, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticise people's stupidity or vices. Well, Ozymandias, or Ramesses II, this tyrannical pharaoh, certainly had vices. Percy Bysshe Shelley was a notorious satirist. In his poem The Mask of Anarchy, he refers to Castlereagh, the foreign secretary at the time, as murder. I met murder on the way. He had a mask like Castlereagh. Shelley, in this third-hand account, accentuates the satire of Ozymandias, this repugnant ruler, by demonstrating that his legacy is nothing but a shattered visage and an accompanying reminder of his arrogance. Even when we might expect an analysis of Ozymandias to have been distorted, we are assured that our impression of the pharaoh is the same as that which the sculptor read. There is a degree of certainty in how the sculptor stamped his opinions on Ozymandias into the stone. But it is Shelley's clever description of the stone itself as lifeless things that emphasises Ozymandias' position in time. He is not the King of Kings. In fact, this is a startling rebuke. He is anything but alive. The ambiguity of it heightens that sense of insignificance. Forget the glory and splendour of an extravagant king. These are merely things. Notice the juxtaposition in the line. While his reputation and undesirable qualities survive, the statue he commissioned is lifeless. This is not the statue he anticipated it would be. His cold command has backfired, and here he is exposed as a humiliated king in his time, and even more humiliated king in our time. In his time, the sculptor depicted him in such a way that others might scorn at his malevolence, and in our time, Shelley has set up an unreliable third-hand account of a ruined statue in an empty desert. The stark contrast between Ozymandias' intentions, his optimism, and the brutal reality, the ephemerality of human power, is laid bare. It is important to consider the crucial role the sculptor plays in making a farce of his master. The humiliation of Ozymandias is something that Shelley expounds in using what's called syntactic parallelism. This is when the arrangement of words in two or more sentences or phrases correspond to one another. For instance, her dog chased and his cat ran. The pronoun-noun-verb structure is repeated to create a sense of implication. The antecedent causes the effect. In the same way, the hand that mocked follows the arrangement of article, noun, pronoun, verb, and likewise the heart that fed. The antecedent, namely the mocking, causes Ozymandias' heart to feed. It is worth noting that the word mocked is ambiguous. Mocking can either mean to create an imitation of something or to ridicule somebody. It is more likely that its literal meaning denotes the sculptor's act in crafting the statue out of these lifeless things, while Ozymandias laps up the opportunity of glorification and exaltation, the heart that fed. You can almost imagine him sitting there, can't you? The subject of a new statue, his sense of entitlement, his self-orientated desire. In the words of Robert Browning's narrator in My Last Duchess, it is clear that it is all for me. And crucially, this is what makes his downfall that much worse. The personified heart, gratifying its selfish instincts, believes wholeheartedly that this statue will be an eternal reminder for the mighty to despair. How wrong he is. It is the double meaning of mocked that expounds perfectly the sculptor's power over his master. In the poem Ozymandias, the roles have been reversed, and much like Shelley himself in his political activism, the artisan has degraded the dictator. If you liked this video, please subscribe below.